I want you to ask yourself this one question. By answering this one question, we can totally change our life. And I want you to really, I'm going to give you a way to think about it, maybe in a different way, so that you can really drill into this one question. Here's the question that can change everything for you. What do you want? Yeah, that's the question. And let me tell you how I want you to think about this. So the question is, what is it that you want? So, how I figured out this is the trick that I use to think about what it is that I really want. And then I'm going to share it with you. And maybe this strategy will help you. So, the thing that I do, I think about when I was a kid and it was my birthday and I would think about what I wanted. What do I want for my birthday? So I want you to think about things that you have asked for your birthday. Think about now. Roll with me. Stay with me now. What is it that you really want? Typically, because we're adults, we have all of these responsibilities. We have all of these things going on in our lives. We don't really stop to think about what it is that we want. But if you think about it from this viewpoint, and this is a trick, this is an advantage that you can use for yourself. Ask yourself, you have a birthday coming up. What do you want for your birthday? What do you want for your birthday? And I want you to ask yourself, do you normally downplay what it is that you want? Do you even think about what you really want? Or do you automatically decide that you can't have the things that you want? And if it's too much for you to think about what it is that you want for your birthday, if you have children, think about what it is your children have asked for their birthday. And did they get it? Did they get it? And if you're with me live, give me a hey, what's up, what's going on? And if you're catching this in the replay, give me a hashtag replay. I know that my background is a little bright. I'm on the front porch this morning and the sun is absolutely beautiful, but I couldn't quite find the spot to get me into the right lighting because my son wasn't here. Hey, Kier Cozy. Hey, hey. Hey, Sherry Benjamin. So in the chat, tell me, what do you want? Think about if it were your birthday, what if you could have anything that you want, what would you ask for? Tell me that right now. And let's stop being scared to answer. Everybody has a birthday that's coming. Whether it just passed, you got another one that's coming. What do you want for your birthday? Can you tell me that right now? You can have anything that you want. What do you want for your birthday? Answer me that. What do you want for your birthday? See, because as adults, the older we get, and especially if you're past the age of 35, you have stopped dreaming and hoping for big things. You've decided that you can only have small things. So tell me right now, what do you want for your birthday? Put it in the chat. And I'm taking it somewhere. So if you roll with me, this can be life changing for you. So think about some of the things that your kids have asked for. Let me tell you some of the things that my boys have asked for their birthdays. One year they wanted an Xbox. One year they wanted a PS5. One year, as they got older, this was for their 16th and 17th birthday. They said, "Y'all go on cruises all the time. We want to go on a cruise for our birthday." One year, they said they wanted a game truck and all of their friends to come to the game truck. One year, I had one who said, "Give me money. I want to go on a shopping mall. I want to go on a shopping spree in the mall and I want to be able to buy what I want to buy." And so he got $500 in money. And then my one son, for his 21st birthday, baby, we said, "What you want for your birthday?" And you normally ask a little bit in advance. Baby, my son told me, he said, "I want to go to Hawaii. I heard that Hawaii is beautiful. I want to go to Hawaii." Y'all, guess what? Guess what, y'all? Everything that I named off, everything that they asked for, they received. They received. They said what it was that they wanted. And when they said it, we didn't say to ourselves, "Oh, you can't have that." We didn't tell them, "You can't have that." As parents, we work to figure it out. We try to make their dreams come true. Honeys, that's the same thing God is doing for you. That's the same thing God is doing for you. That's your heavenly Father. He's asking you, what do you want? The problem is you don't know what it is that you want. It's just like when you go to a restaurant, and anybody who's in my mastermind, they know that I always use the restaurant reference. When you go into the restaurant and you sit down, I see Kiera Cozy is on the line. Kiera Cozy, remember when we went to Capitol Grill, when we sat down, the lady came over, and what did she ask us? How can I help you? What is it that you want? What do you want? And remember when she first came, we didn't know what we wanted. We didn't know. We were looking over the menu. We didn't know what we wanted. And what did she say? I'll give you a few minutes and I'll come back, because we didn't know what we wanted. So if you don't know what you want, you don't get anything. But guess what? When you place your order, you get to receive it. So then when she came back, remember, Kiera Cozy, we ordered our drinks, and then we ordered our food. And what happened? Everything that we ordered showed up. When was the last time that you placed an order and that thing didn't show up? See, we get so confused. We don't place orders. We don't make requests. We sit there and we complain, and we think about what we don't have, and we relish in what it is that somebody else has, but we don't place our own order. So I want us to start placing orders. Kiera Cozy says she wants a fancy spa day or a party with my family and friends. That's what she wants for her birthday. Have you asked for it, and who have you told? Have you asked for it, and who have you told? Jerry Benjamin says she wants cash. She wants $20,000. If I can ask for anything, if I have limits, I want a Brahmin purse and wallet. Okay, so I want you to think about this, Sherry. Who said there was a limit? Who gave you a limit? Did y'all hear me say there was a limit? Nobody ever told you there was a limit. Think about when my boys said they wanted an Xbox, they wanted a PS5. They didn't have a real concept of money. So they didn't know that a PS5 was $500. They didn't know that an Xbox was $300. They didn't know that that Xbox was more than our electric bill at our house. They didn't know that that PS5 is some people's car notes for the month. Stop thinking about how much stuff costs. You are limiting yourself. You're putting your own limits on yourself, and nobody told you to do that. The question was, what do you want? What is it that you want? And immediately she said, if I have limits, nobody told you you had limits. See, you get what you order. And if you limit yourself, that you're going to get that limited edition of what it is that you order. You're going to get that watered down. And this is what we do. We settle. We'll say, I want this thing, but I'll take this thing. Kiera Cozy says, right, just say it. Say what you want clearly and explicitly. I always get what I want for my birthday. I always get what I want for my birthday because I tell people what it is that I want. I do not shortchange myself. I want Sherry to stop shortchanging herself. You said what it is that you wanted. Stand in it and expect it. When my neighbors are passing by, because I'm actually outside. Folks on YouTube, this is my real background. I know y'all probably think that's a virtual background. That is not. That's my real background. So I want us to stop shortchanging your trying to make it affordable. Life says, I want a paint and sip session and 4 raised garden beds and soil to fill them. Who have we told this to? Who have we expressed this to? We have to tell people, and you can't just tell one person. You can't just, you gotta expect it. You gotta say, I'm looking forward to somebody planning me a paint and sip session. Come on, y'all. This is what I want for my birthday. Come on and make it happen. Yeah, I'm so bold, and I know that my Heavenly Father has already said, girl, you got a godly trust fund. It's all types of stuff in this trust fund for you, and you ain't made no requests out of this trust fund. So I told the Lord, I said, all right, Lord, I know what I want for my big 50th birthday, baby. I want to have the biggest celebration that is for me. I want to have a destination 50th birthday party. I'm going to Puerto Rico. I want to have a day on the boat, just a cruise on the ocean. We're going to have our chef there preparing food. We're going to have music. We're going to have some card games. We're going to have karaoke. We're going to do some Tamiya slide. We're going to be on this beautiful yacht. Then we're going to have lunch. on the beach one day. We're going to have us a beach brunch. Everybody's coming. And honey, everybody got to wear sundresses because we're going to also have a photo shoot. So you got to wear a sundress. It's going to be a beautiful brunch on the beach with the tables out with the white linen cloths and the beautiful fresh flowers. It's going to be absolutely amazing. Then we're going to have a night at the club. Baby, we're going to the club VIP. We shutting that thing down. I'm taking about 20 people with me, and we're going to be VIP at the club. We're going to have our own section. We're going to have bottle service because in addition to it being my 50th birthday, it'll also be my 25th wedding anniversary. These are the things that I want. Then I want to, just like Care Cozy, we're going to have a spa day where the women and the men will be going to the spa. We're going to get massages. We're going to get manicures and pedicures. We are going to have an amazing time, and it will be unforgettable. It will be one of the best birthdays I've experienced, and it will also be an experience for everybody else. I can already envision the little welcome bags that I'm going to give all the people who decide to travel with me. They're going to have some beautiful welcome bags. And then when it's time to go, they're going to have thank you bags. I already know what the cake is going to look like. Everybody is going to get a mini birthday cake. Instead of one big birthday cake, I'm going to have 25 mini birthday cakes, individual birthday cakes for me, to them, and it's going to be amazing. You see how I have this whole picture painted in my head. There is nothing that you can do to tell me that this is not going to happen. As a matter of fact, I'm already looking at flights to Puerto Rico. And so it's there. Let me tell y'all, it's all it all starts in your imagination. So what stops us is we confuse imagination with worry. So instead of going into imagination, we begin to worry about, oh, well, I don't have enough money for that. Well, what if people don't show up? Well, yeah, I ain't got enough people to bring with me. Yeah, that's going to be too much. My check don't pay for that. So then we start thinking about what we don't want. I don't want to have it and don't nobody show up. I don't want to have it and then I can't get there. I don't want this and I don't want that. That's wary. We don't want wary people. We got to use our imagination. That's what we want. The problem is we stopped imagining things and we started only thinking about the things that are here and present in real life. That is so sad. When you think about a kid on their birthday, they don't know what money is. They don't know what they can and can't have. All they know is what they want. I want you to really focus on what it is you want. Sherry says, I think I heard you say before one of your relatives has a birthday in November. Mine is the same on the 25th. Oh my goodness, Sherry. That's my mother's birthday, November 25th. My mother's birthday is November 25th, and my son's birthday is November 30th. And then I have another son whose birthday is December 1st. Those are those two who are back to back. So yes, we do a lot in November, and now we do a honoring of my mother on her birthday because she's our Thanksgiving person. And so I actually host the Thanksgiving every year. I host it. It's not always at my house, but I always host it. Sometimes I'll rent locations. Sometimes it's at my house. Y'all know I always have to do too much, and I absolutely love it. Okay. So I want us to really think about what it is that you want. And I'm trying to give you ways and tricks because sometimes we have to trick our mind. I don't know if this resonating with y'all. Give me some fire. Give me some fire if this is resonating because I really want to help y'all. I really want to help because these are things that have really helped me. When I say these things have really helped me, y'all, these things are life changing. I'm not just telling you this. I'm trying to show you that I didn't go out and get 2 or 3 jobs. I didn't go out working hard. I shifted my mindset. I began to think about things in a different way. And I know that the reason why I wasn't doing it before now is because I was too busy. I was too busy working. I was too busy taking care of kids. I was too busy trying to be a wife. I was too busy trying to be a good daughter. I was too busy trying to be a good sister. So I could not take the time to work on me and to think higher. All I thought about was harder. I got to work harder. I got to do more. That's not the answer, people. That's not the answer. Thank you. Sherry says my mind shifts every time. I love this. So I want us to know that you just got to ask yourself, what do you want? And then if it's hard for you, use the little trick. Pretend like it's your birthday. Let me tell you something. When I ask myself, what did I want to get me to the next level? Oh, hey there, SW Live. That's Sharon Washington, y'all. That's the marketing guru. Sharon Washington is joining us. So ask yourself, what do you want? When I asked myself, what do I want? And I was trying to get to the next level, and I was kind of scared to say it, y'all. I said, I want freedom. I want freedom. But then guess what? I didn't know what freedom was. So then I had to try to define what freedom was. So I started to begin to think about, what would it mean for me to be free? What are the types of things that I would do if the waiter came to my table and said, you want to order a freedom? What does that look like? How do you want me to make it? Then I began to think, oh, if I had freedom, I will be able to go grocery shopping when I want to, and I don't just have to go on Saturday morning at 9 a.m. If I had freedom, I would probably go grocery shopping on Tuesday or Wednesday. If I had what I call freedom, I wouldn't just go on vacation one time a year, July 31st through August 10th. That's the only time I could go on vacation due to my school schedule. I was like, I would go on vacation probably during the winter time because it's cold in Missouri and I want to go to a hot place because I absolutely hate the cold. And I was like, what else? If I wanted freedom, what would that look like? Oh, I would just use my debit card when I want to buy stuff and not always be calculating and pulling up my bank account and checking to see what's in my bank account. If I had freedom, I wouldn't have to do that. I could do some other, I could put a few things in the basket, swipe my card, and not be scared if it's gonna go through, and be looking at the little thing that show you whether your transaction was approved. I don't have to be on it, just looking to see, is it gonna say approved? Is it gonna say approved? That to me was prison. So when you think about freedom, what does that look like? Sherry says, I started to say that also, but changed my mind again. Come on now, Sherry. Come on now, Sherry. So we got to really think about, what do you want? If you say that you want freedom, everybody's freedom looks different. Everybody has a different idea of what freedom is. Everybody has a different idea of what their dream life is. Everybody has a different idea of what their dream partner or spouse is. Everybody has a different idea of what their dream home is. But it all starts in your imagination. And we got to stop being scared to ask. The biggest problem is, in the Bible, it says, ask and you shall receive. You won't even ask. You have a godly trust fund. I'm going to keep saying this until it gets into our head. You got a godly trust fund. And if you think about the things that you've made happen for your children, the things that you've made happen for your children when they've asked for something, the things that you paid for them to be in that you could not afford, you didn't know where the money was coming from, but you put them in them AAU sports, you put them in that gymnastic team that is an elite gymnastics team, you figured it out. They said, Mommy, I want this. They said, Mommy, can we do this? And you figured it out. Honeys, that's the same way God is waiting on you. God is saying, come on, ask me. God is saying, come on, girl, all you got to do is ask. Stop being scared. And then we'll say, well, I'm just going to ask for just enough. Ain't nobody told you to do that. You decided to do that on your own. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. Ask for the big. Ask for the big, because the same energy it takes to give you the small is the same energy it takes to give you the big. When I saw the car that I wanted, I didn't know how I was going to afford that car, nor did I even know the car costed that much. I said, this car right here, I had rented this car in Chicago, and I had to drive to Janesville, Wisconsin, because I was doing a PD. I was doing 3 days of PD. I flew into Chicago, O'Hare Airport, got my rental car. I was doing a lot of work there. And the guy was like, oh, Dr. D, I saved a special vehicle for you. When I saw this, I thought of you. And I was in a rush because it was almost nighttime. And it was a 2-hour drive, almost a 2 hour, about an hour and a half drive from Chicago O'Hare to Janesville, to the school district I was going to. And so I was trying to get going before the nighttime got upon me, because I do not like nighttime driving at all. I'm not 25 no more. And so I got out to the vehicle. The man had told me, I got this special vehicle for you. I got in the vehicle, put my suitcase in, pulled off, adjusted my mirrors and stuff, pulled off, got the navigation set, noticed that it had navigation in it. So I set the navigation on the inside. I didn't have to connect my phone or anything, because it literally had everything on the inside. I get to driving, I get on the highway, and I'm hitting it. Baby, I'm hitting it, because I'm trying to get these. It was 99 miles I had to go. I remember it because I done drove this route 100 times. It was 99 miles I had to go from Chicago O'Hare Airport to Janesville, Wisconsin, where I was going to. So I was hitting it on the highway. I got on that highway and I'm driving. And then I'm getting my music going. I'm calling my husband. I'm letting them know I'm on the highway. I should get there in about an hour and a half. I'm gonna get in. I'm gonna check in. I'm gonna get in the bed. I'm going through my what's about to happen. And the car said to me, "You are weaving out of the lane." And my husband was like, "Who in the car with you?" And I was like, "Oh, ain't nobody in the car with me. I did car talking. This car talking to me." So I look at the dash, and sure enough, I was out of the lane. So I was like, "Oh, let me pull back into the lane." I said, I done got out of the lane, and the car is telling me I'm out of the lane. So they were doing construction on the road, and instead of the road going straight, the road had started doing some little curves and stuff. So I wasn't keeping to the curve. And apparently on the screen, the green lines had been there to tell me it had turned red. I was out of the green and into the red. And after I didn't straighten up, the car started talking. So I was like, "Oh, it's the car." So then I'm still driving, talking to my husband, and I'm like, "Yeah, because it's supposed to be some weather, and I want to get here before this weather hits, because I don't like driving in the snow." So I'm talking. The car says again, "Are you okay?" And I'm looking around. I'm like, who the hell is that? Like, I'm looking, I'm scared. I'm like, what is going on here? Well, the car was asking me, "Are you okay?" Because I'm steady going out of this lane. So my husband was like, "What type of car are you in?" And it's talking to you. I was like, "Yeah, the car is talking." And so we keep driving. I keep driving. And I'm noticing that it's a really smooth drive. It's a really nice drive. And you know what? The seats were like made for me. They were incredibly comfortable, and the vehicle really was like it was made for me. And I was like, "Oh." So my husband was like, "What kind of car is this?" I was like, "I don't know. I'm looking on the steering wheel, and I don't see any emblem. I don't see anything that tells me what it is." So I get to my location. My husband was like, "When you get out, I want you to tell me what type of car that is." He was like, "Because what type of car is this that you in?" I was like, "I don't know. I didn't even look at the back of it." I said, "All I know is that it's a white truck type thing." So I get to the Marriott. I get out, I'm getting my suitcase out, and I forget to look at the name of the car because I'm trying to get to the inside. So I get inside, I get checked in. I call my husband. I'm like, "Okay, I'm checked in, and I'm, in the room." He was like, "What kind of car was that?" I was like, "Oh, I don't know." So then my husband, he said, "Look at the keys. The keys will tell you what type of car it is." I was like, "Oh, you're right." I go look at the keys, and I was like, "Oh, shoot, this is a Range Rover. This is a Range Rover?" I was like, "When they start making Range Rovers like this?" So he was like, "Oh, yeah, that's nice." I was like, "It is nice." And I was like, so I drove the car for 3 days. Baby, after 3 days, I was like, "This is my car. This is my car." I called my husband. I was like, "This is my car. I want this car. This is the car I want right here." I was like, "I don't want no other car. This is the car I want right here. This is the car I want right here." And my husband was like, "Really?" My husband was like, "Oh my goodness." He was like, "Chanel, do you know how much those cars cost?" I was like, "No, I don't. But this is my car. This is the car I want." This car is sitting out here in my driveway right now. Not only have I had one, but I've had two. So I bought one the first time. Each time got amazing deals, attracted it to me, manifested it into my life. Did I know how much it cost? No. When I found out how much those cars cost, I didn't let that change my mind. I was like, "Oh, who knew that these cars cost this?" I had no idea that the cars cost that, because I thought cars run 30, $40,000. I didn't even know they made. Look, I'm not that car person like that. And so every time I would be driving and we would see one of them, my son would say, "There go your car." My other son would say, "Mom, there go your car." And I'd be like, "Yep, there go my car." I'd be like, "There go my car." And they just started appearing more and more. That's because I was focused on it. I identified it more. It wasn't because it was more on the street. They had already been on the street. But in my mind, I believed that that was my car, and it was I just had to find it and get it to me. I was like, it's gonna come, it's gonna come, and then lo and behold, I'm doing my work, I'm in my business, and I do my October meeting with my tax lady, tax planning strategist, and she says to me, she says, you got a situation. She said, you've made more money than we anticipated. So you need to either go spend $25,000 or you can pay Uncle Sam $28,000. And I was like, what? How is spending money gonna help me not to owe Uncle Sam? So she does the calculation. She shows me, and she's like, if you go get a 6,000 pound vehicle, this vehicle has to be in your business name. If you get that, that's going to give you a tax deduction that will then, and because during this time, the tax deduction was 100% deduction. Typically, you only get 25% per year over 4 years. This was during, what was it, Obama? I think it was Obama or Biden. And if you did it, you got the 100% deduction in the first year. And so she said, if you go and get a vehicle, you don't have to pay for it in full. But if you get that vehicle, you get to deduct the full deduction in full. And that's going to decrease your tax burden. And you won't have to pay this $28,000. So now I wasn't even thinking about a vehicle. I didn't need a vehicle. I had a vehicle. I already had a vehicle. I went and I got the vehicle. Well, why would I go get what I don't want? Guess what? When I went to the lot to get what I want, guess what? It was right there for me. It was right there for me. I'm just telling y'all, you have to imagine what it is that you want. You have to see yourself in it. You have to believe it. Your mind does not understand the difference between reality. Your mind does not understand the difference between reality and your imagination. And so when you use your imagination and you express the energy and the vibration, it will pull to you the thing that you want. We got to work on attracting what it is that we want. But if we don't know what it is that we want, how is it that how can you receive it? And then when we play ourselves short, when we ask for something that's less than what we really want, when we decide to settle, when we decide that, okay, well, I'll just take this, well, this is enough, well, I don't want to be greedy, well, I don't want to ask for too much, well, I don't want people to think that I think I'm better than them, well, that's unrealistic, well, that's not logical. Girl, stop right now. Just ask for it. The Lord never said, okay, I want you to sit down, I want you to do some research, and I want you to calculate what it is you think you want and figure out how much it costs, and I'll let you know if you can have it. That is not what the Lord said. The Lord said, ask and ye shall receive. Get your godly trust fund. Go make some withdrawals from your godly trust fund. Sherry says, I get it now. I've been on this manifestation journey for just a little bit and starting to understand it more and more. I was religious for so long, limiting myself in God. Thanks for sharing your life. You are so welcome, Sherry. And I got a whole lot that I could say about that, but I'm a mind my business and go on about my work, because it is really true. A lot of times, many times in the Black community, depending upon what type of church you go to, they teach us that you're supposed to struggle, that things are supposed to be hard, that God blesses the poor, and all of these mixed thoughts. Rich people ain't ever going to heaven, the camel and the needle and all of that good stuff. But then you see in the Bible, you see people like King Solomon, you see the richest man in the world, like, it's contradictory. And so you just have to figure out what it is that is going to work for you. And so, like you said, you've been on the manifestation journey, and on the manifestation journey, it's all about imagination. Because one thing that I know, if we're going to go by what the Bible said, the Lord said what he said, and things were created. You didn't hear him going out, digging holes in the ground, putting clay together, trying to create stuff. He said it and it was so. He said, let there be light, and there was light. He said, let there be land, and there was land. So there is power in the tongue, but we use our tongue to talk about what we can't have, what we don't have, what we don't like, what we don't desire, what doesn't work, what makes us mad, what gets on our nerves. We talk about the wrong things. We need to talk about what it is that we want, what it is that we're looking forward to, what it is that we're expecting, how excited we are, even in those moments when things are not good. We need to talk about, my husband was talking about this morning, he is going to do a liver detox. And he instantly said, I'm going to do the liver detox, but I'm about to start talking about how it's going to help me as opposed to the symptoms that I feel like I'm feeling. We'll talk about the illness. We'll talk about the sickness. We'll talk about the impact, but we won't talk about the healing and what's going to happen and how this is going to help and all of those things. And so I really want you to think about, what is it that you really want? And again, if you really, really need a strategy, I'm telling you the strategy that I use. I think about, what do I want for my birthday? Just ask yourself, what do you want for your birthday? And then think about that. Are you limiting yourself? And every day is your birthday. Every day can be your birthday. And then I think about when I go to a restaurant and I'm sitting down, if I don't place an order, I don't receive anything. You must place an order. The order has to be placed in order for you to receive something. So a lot of us are not placing orders. We're just showing up. We're taking our shower. We're getting dressed. We're cooking meals. We're taking what's in our bank account. We're making it work. We're going to the grocery store. We're cooking dinner. We're taking care of our kids. We're coming back home, and we're worried about all the things that can go wrong. We worry. And then we don't think about what that's doing to us. And then we teach our children to worry, to stress, to settle, to not have. And then those kids have kids. And then those kids, they now know how to worry, to stress, to not have, to struggle, to be addicted to the struggle, to think that hard work is the answer. And then those kids have kids. And this is how the cycle repeats itself, because no one stopped to break the cycle. No one stopped to tell the kids. No one stopped to develop themselves at a different level. You know why not? Because we're too busy in the day to day. We got everything going. It's intentional to keep us saturated in the day to day. You have to decide, I'm taking some stuff off my plate. What is the stuff I'm taking off my plate? I'm getting off of social media. I'm finna stop scrolling. I'm finna stop watching Netflix. I'm finna get off of Tubi. I'm finna stop watching all of this stuff. I'm finna stop talking on the phone gossiping. I'm finna dedicate 2 hours of my life each day to building me, to making me better, to being better in my craft, to learning about my expertise, to doing better, to living a different life. It's that simple. And that's all it is. Sherry Benjamin says, I learned when they say my sheep know my voice, that means his way of thinking. And that may not always be scriptures, but rather how he does things. And it is through manifesting our thoughts. So glad for learning something new. Look at there. She pulling it together, y'all. See, when we begin to work on ourselves, we begin to see things from a different perspective. But if you're around people, if you always around people who's struggling, they gonna remind you of the struggle. That's why they say you will be the sum total of your 5 friends, the people who you spend the most time with. Think about those 5 people. And the thing about us, we will think that the people don't really impact us. We spend the most time typically with our spouse or significant other. We spend the most time with that 1 or 2 friends that we have. We spend the most time with our parents. A lot of times we have parents who are still alive. And if you think about those people, a lot of them are still rooted in poverty. They still have poor thinking. They are still struggling themselves. They are still limiting themselves. They struggled and settled in their lives. And so that's what they're talking about. So what is the solution to that? You got to find 5 people who are doing well and get into their circle. And guess what? While they're talking hope, while they're talking more, while they're talking leveling up, it's going to inherently make you do the same, because you're going to be hearing a different conversation. But the problem is we want to stay where it's comfortable at. In that circle where we're comfortable at, we're the one who has all of the answers. Everybody comes to us. They know that we have the solution. It makes us feel good to be the go-to person. It makes us feel good to be the one to solve the crisis situation. But then on the back end, we're mad because we're always there for everybody else and ain't nobody there for us. Nobody can help us with our problems. We create our own problems. And when we take 100% responsibility for our own lives, we will be able to see we can change our lives. And it starts with what we're thinking, and what we're thinking then comes out of our mouth. If we change our thoughts, we will change the things that come out of our mouths. And so I want you to get clear on what it is that you really want. I can tell you right now, what I want is freedom. What I'm working towards every day is freedom. What I dream about is freedom. I felt a little bit of freedom, but I know that there are levels to freedom, and I may be on level one. Maybe I'm on level two, but honey, I'm trying to get to the next level. And when I get to that level, I want to get to the next level. But how do I know what those levels look like? I got to get around people who are more free than I am. And that's exactly what I do. When you ask me, Chanel, what do you want? Dr. D, what is it that you want? Baby, I want freedom. I want time freedom. I want financial freedom. I want creative freedom. I want emotional freedom. I want freedom. Give me freedom. That's what I want. And you got to know what it looks like. I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to have money saved in the bank. I want to be able to do what it is I want to do. I want to be able to go on my brunches. I want to be able to take my yacht cruise on the Ritz. I want to be able to host events and not have to worry about whether or not I'm going to be able to cover them. I want to be able to help women at my leisure, but on a schedule. I want to be able to date my husband in the daytime and have a very strong relationship with my husband. I want to have a great relationship with my kids, with my nieces and with my nephews and with my sisters. I want to have a strong bond with my family. I want to be able to do the things that I want to do. This is what freedom looks like for me. I want to be able to have my chef. I want to be able to have my maid. I want to be able to have a driver. Do you hear me? Like you got to be able to imagine these things. If you can't imagine it, you can't do it. I want to be able to have my massages. I want my acupuncture. I want good medical insurance. I want to be able to have my yearly exams and have great health. I want to be able to go for a morning walk. I want to be able to sit on the porch and drink my coffee leisurely. I want to be able to walk my dog. These are things that I want. I want to be able to have a second home. I want to be able to move into my dream home, not settling, my dream home. I want the Lord to give me a home even better than I even thought I could have at a price that I never thought that would be for this home. I'm looking for it to be so good I can't even turn it away. So I have some things that I want. Do you know what you want? Do you know what you want? And have you asked for it? And have you stepped into the fact that you're going to receive it? Are you operating as if it is so? Are you doing it? Or are you forgetting about it? I get excited just talking about it. Y'all should be excited just talking about it. You should be excited. Sherry says she wants $20,000. Sherry, you should be excited. You should be stepping into, oh my goodness, I'm manifesting $20,000 in my life. It is so. And what are you gonna do with the 20,000? If you asking for 20,000 and you don't know what you're gonna do with it, that means that you don't really want it. You should already know where this 20,000 is going to be spent, what is going to be used towards, and that's where the excitement comes from. So if you're asking for $20,000, do you really believe that you can have it? And if you believe that you can have it, have you stepped into it? Have you thanked God for that 20,000? Have you stepped into the vibration? How do you feel when you get $20,000? What is the feeling? What is the feeling? Do you feel powerful? Do you feel excited? Do you feel overwhelmed with joy? Do you feel grateful? What is the feeling? All you have to do is think about a time when you had a large sum of money. How did that make you feel? I just did day 2, on day 2 of the 10K and 30-day challenge. I talked about some of that. If you have not watched day 2 of the challenge, get on YouTube, watch day 2 of the challenge. Day 3 will be dropped in just a few minutes. And then I'll probably do day 4 today as well. So, because tomorrow will be day 4 and I want to get some things up early. So that's all I got. I ain't got no more. I hope this has been helpful. Leave in the comments what it is that you want. Leave it in the comments. We got to learn to start helping other people too. Sherry says, I know what I want. I know what I want it for. And yes, I've seen it in my bank account already. And so what are the feelings that go with that? You got to attract to the feelings. You got to attach to the feeling of it, not just the knowing, because that's the vibrational energy that you are attracting to you. What does it feel like to have $20,000 in your account? When I was talking to you about my 50th birthday party, you could feel the excitement. You know that I have sent out that vibrational energy to bring everything into me. Once I started talking about what it was that I wanted for my birthday, Guess what? Cherie instantly sent me a list of hotels at the in Puerto Rico. She was like, these are some hotels I know you would love. You should take a look at this. When I looked at them, I was like, girl, you know exactly who I am and what it is that I need. That's because I spoke it. She heard and the vibration attracted to her. She sent me the list of hotels. I was like, oh my goodness. And then I was talking to somebody else and they said, oh, I got a connection over there. Let me get you a quote. I didn't have to do anything. See, y'all think it's about hard work. It's not about hard work. It's about embodying the energy and letting it emit from your body. And people who are attracted to that energy will then come into your attraction. We got to stop setting goals and start setting intentions and start attracting what it is that we want and stop thinking that it requires more hard work. Myself up off here. Y'all know I can talk about this for days. I love this work. I love helping women. I love us making shifts and beginning to live the life of our dreams. Sherry said, grateful, thankful, excited. I started jumping up and down in the feeling of thankfulness. That's it. And then every day you should have that feeling and you should be saying, whoo, all right, my financial burdens are, oh, I'm good for the next few months because I got 20,000 coming. I'm good. Oh, I'm good. And you should be waking up excited. You should be looking at your bill saying, oh, let me get that taken care of. That's nothing because I got what I need for right now. I got what I need for right now. When I'm talking about my birthday, you don't see me hesitating. You don't see me talking about how much it costs. You don't see me wondering, are the people going to be able to get the plane tickets to Puerto Rico? Are they going to be able to afford to book the hotels? Are they going to be able to afford to go to the dinners? What about the yacht? You know, yachts are expensive. You don't see me talking about that. As a matter of fact, when we talked to the lady at the hotel, she said, we have our own yacht and we can set that up for you. I'm telling you, all you have to do is attract it to you. I'm just telling you, get into the energy of it. Y'all go on about y'all business and have yourself an amazing Saturday and get out here. You see this beautiful weather? Get out of the house. Stop being in the house. Life happens on the outside. Go do something fun. Do something for yourself. Stop doing stuff for everybody else. Yes, it's good to help other people, but you need to help yourself first. Go and experience some joy. If that means taking a single walk through the park or taking your dog for a quick walk, do something for yourself. And I'm telling you, when you are in moments of joy, that's when you get your best thoughts. That's when you get your divine downloads. That's when you get your most creative ideas. Y'all, I will talk to y'all later.